Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Hello, Felicia.
Howdy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Today, we're going to be talking about Event Horizon, which was our patron pick.
Yes.
Yeah, which makes sense. I thought this one would win because it's pretty quintessential sci-fi horror, I feel like. It's from 1997, but before we get into all that, Felicia, what are you drinking?
So right now, in a Moscow Mule cup, I'm drinking something different because Tawny and I chatted for over an hour beforehand and I drank it already. So now it is there's vodka. It's my husband's summer concoction. It's vodka, this seltzer water that's cranberry lime by Polar, and then by Polar is the brand, Polar.
Okay.
And then lemonade.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Super yummy and refreshing. And I have water. What about you?
I'm drinking Athletic Brewing, the Upside Down, which is gluten reduced and alcohol free. So I really want to drink an alcoholic beverage, but alas, I still don't feel 100%. Since we recorded last, Jade got what I had. So he's been terribly sick for the last week, and it just will not fucking leave him, just like it won't leave me. I feel like we're just going to be sick for the rest of our lives at this point. And I hate it. And he hates it. We're grumpy. Okay. I'm not grumpy right now in this conversation. It's going to be fine. But holy shit. You know, when you just get cooped up, we've been stuck in the house. I think I might have had COVID. He tested positive for COVID. I did not. I tested negative. But it felt very upper respiratory lung shit. So I'm just going to assume that we both have had COVID. And so I don't want to drink because I feel like it's going to make me feel worse. And my throat still hurts and I'm pissed about it. That's all. Boo.
We're here for you.
Thank you.
It's bullshit.
It'll eventually go away and I'm just going to be the happiest camper. I'm so excited to just feel like a regular human again.
Probably you'll feel like a regular human by the time we go to California for mid.
I am. Yes, I'm going to. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. We're going to Midsummer Scream.
Yes. We're going to that horror convention. Got to reach out to us, holler on our, Instagram or what have you, if you'll be there. We're super excited. Everybody, this will be the first time Tawny and I meet in person. This is epic. So this is our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
This is our 100th episode.
Yes.
And we're going to be meeting in person for the first time ever.
Yes. Yes.
So cool.
Cheers to all of that.
Cheers.
Yes. Now I really wish I had an alcoholic beverage. Oh well. Oh, I'm so excited. In Long Beach. It's going to be in Long Beach. So.
Yep. Long Beach. My old stomping ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you better take us to some good food places.
Oh, yeah. There's so much good food. And right down where it is, it's just, it's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm stoked. So stoked. You're right. I needed to go through this so I am never sick again for the next 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
But most importantly for the next month because we got shit planned.
Yeah, we do.
Midsummer Scream. I'm going to go to Triangle Park, I'm going to go surfing, boat surfing,
Yeah.
Wake surfing in 2 weeks, 2 weekends. Very fucking excited about that. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have all next week off.
Oh, hell yeah.
My company does a mid-year shutdown. So that everybody, we do it twice a year. So this week, that aligns with it just happens to align with 4th of July. And then the week after Christmas, the whole company shuts down so that people can just enjoy their families.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my God, I don't have to go back to work until July 11th. And there was just like this joy. It's like when you wake up, nothing wrong with my job, but I'm just saying, it's like when you wake up and you think, oh gosh, I got to get up, get ready for work. And you're like, no, I don't. It's Saturday. It's like so great.
Or like a snow day. Like
yes.
When you were in school and you'd be like, yes, they canceled it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tawny knows this about me. I am someone where you never need to feel bad about canceling on me. I always appreciate the extra time to do nothing. Even when I was in college and, you're waiting there and you're like, wait, it's been that 15 minutes. The teacher hasn't shown up. Is that the time that we can all leave and, class is done? Yeah. So I never mind. So people, like, if they reach out to us like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule our recording? Yep. You never need to feel bad.
I think I would say that's true for me too. Like 98% of the time I'm like, oh hell yeah. Got time
I could
back.
write. I could watch a movie. I could play some video games. I'm cool.
Whatever. It's fine with me.
Oh, what the hell are we talking about?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Good things though. Good things.
Anyway, what have you been watching, listening to, doing? Give us an update on your life.
This is a good segue because we have been obsessed at binging Stranger Things. We have never seen it. So we saw the first 3 episodes a long time ago. And I think it was a situation where we started it with one of our kids and then they never were around. So we never continued it. Mm-hmm. So after hearing you talk about it and seeing the horror bandwagon is posting a lot about it, like their reaction videos and stuff, mm-hmm. I was like, let's check it out. And we are obsessed. So we finished season 1. We're like season 2, episode 2.
Okay.
And I posted about that. And there's some people that posted, I'm so jealous. I wish that I could see it again with fresh eyes. And I know that feeling because I feel that way about shows. So I'm excited. Yeah. That's really good feedback.
Yeah. I mean, just prepare yourself. I feel like the majority of people feel like season 2 takes a little bit of a dip, but just hang on. It gets better. Season 3 and season 4 is insane. Like I think season 4 is my second favorite season so far.
Oh, nice.
Next to season 1.
Next to season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because if I didn't know to just stick with Mindhunter or just stick with Severance, just stick with it. Yeah. It'll be worth it. I probably wouldn't have been able to get through either of those. And I'm absolutely happy I did because they were fucking great.
Oh, I'm so excited for you to keep. I want to know updates. I'm sure we're going to do updates on the podcast.
Yes. Yeah. And I could probably talk about it because probably everyone's seen it. So we have binged that. That's our main thing. The only other thing because my oldest is watching it with us. And she had to go spend the night the other night, so we couldn't watch it. So we watched We Crashed on Hulu about WeWork. So fascinating.
Yeah. I watched that.
Yes, that was really fascinating. I want to see the documentary about WeWork.
I watched.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to watch the documentary. The We Crashed is a series about it, and it has Anne Hathaway.
Oh yeah.
And
what's his name?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe.
Is it Jared Leto?
Yes. Thank you for saying that. It's Jared Leto. And it is fascinating. It's interesting. I've been wanting to because my last job, when we all started to go back to the office, they rented WeWorks. And I was a manager of support at the time. And some of my team members didn't want to go there because of this documentary. And how WeWork was a cult or like, I don't even know. I didn't know what they were talking about. So I've always been curious. But that's it. Mainly just Stranger Things. Oh, and because just playing. So I've been playing Sims because years ago when Stranger Things first came out, Sims made a whole new world called Strangeville based on Stranger Things.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And we are a Sim family, not my husband, but me and the girls. I'm not ashamed of it. Yes, we are. And we have it like on auto pay. So as soon as something new comes out, whether it's an extension pack or a new world, whatever, we get it. We pre-order it and we get it. So we got the Strangeville, but none of us ever really played it because we didn't watch Stranger Things. We didn't really get it.
Yeah.
So I started a few days ago that storyline of Strangeville and fighting the monster and getting secret information from military and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cool. So that's it over here. How about you?
We have also been watching Stranger Things, and by that I just mean because they released part 2 yesterday. And so the last 2 episodes, the first one of the last 2 is an hour and a half. We watched that last night. The last episode is 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's like it's beyond a full feature-length movie.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're saving that. I think we're going to watch that tonight. So excited. But also so sad because once it's over, it always sucks. You know what I mean?
This is it? Or will they?
I don't think it's the series
Not the
finale.
season or series finale. Okay, just season.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, it's like when you find a good show, it sucks.
Yeah.
You like want to binge it, but then it sucks when you do. Yeah.
Because then what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's one of the things. In terms of, let's see, documentaries, I forgot to list this one, but it reminded me as you were talking. I watched Disclosure, which is about like trans representation in media on Netflix.
Ooh.
And it was really interesting, really informative.
Disclosure. Oh, and it was on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, definitely recommend that. And then also recommend, we watched Overturning Roe, which is also a documentary on Netflix. And in light of recent events, obviously, it was really interesting to watch because it gives you some good information about history I had no idea about. So there's some good like history and stuff there. And again, it's very appropriate in this moment in time. So definitely recommend checking that out. Aside from that, the only other notable thing that I want to say we watched on Netflix is called Snowflake Mountain.
I keep seeing ads for this.
Okay, and I got fully engrossed in this show. And at first, I really wanted to hate this. Because it's basically, if you haven't seen...
What is it? I only see the little picture for it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen like the preview for it, it's also on Netflix. It's like they take this group of like young people who are, typically privileged or not doing shit, basically. Like living off their parents and whatever. And they take them out into the wilderness and make them do wilderness stuff. And I really kind of wanted to hate this because I don't like just the blanket statement of like, when people are like, oh, all millennials are whatever, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like really entitled or like don't know how to do. I really don't like that. So you have like these two hosts that are like outdoorsmen, people who are making them do this and learn this stuff. And at first they seem like asshole. One of them seems like an asshole. So we watched like the first couple episodes and I was like, I really wanted to kind of hate it because I was like, I don't know about this. I'm not down for this making fun of people. Because I'm not like an entitled, bratty, spoiled rich kid. But like, I don't want to be in the middle of the wilderness. I have anxiety. I'd be like panicked about what's going to bite me. I don't know, whatever. So
I'm not
see
a millennial and I wouldn't want to be out into the wilderness. I'd probably have the same damn reaction. I don't even want to lay on the ground because the bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm like, what if, I don't know. Lots of what ifs. Anyway, it ended up being actually like a lot more heartwarming than I anticipated. And so it was like actually a very good watch. I got totally like engrossed in it. And so did Jade. We ended up binging it. Like we just, of course, it's like sick time in our house, never ending 2 weeks or whatever. So we just like, it was great. Highly recommend. You should definitely watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it. I will.
It was good. It was good.
I'll watch all those things. All of those sound really interesting. Thanks for those documentaries too. I love things that just inform me more. Yeah. Because it's hard to get that like deeper research. I love documentaries that just really dive in and share all these different aspects that we don't get right normally just within the media. So very cool. And Snowflake Mountain.
Yeah. Oh, these people, some of the stuff. I mean, it's obviously like trash TV, you know, like reality trash TV, and they're like overdoing it. But man, it was an experience.
That is fun.
Okay. Are we ready to jump into it?
Yeah, we are ready. I just want to add, I also have been learning a lot about crystals. I just have had this urge.
Yeah. We didn't talk about it last time. You just were like, I have a crystal here for.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe you just said that to me. I don't remember.
No, I have crystals. I've been really into, I don't know what it is. I've been reading about them. I have them. I've bought different kinds. I put crystals on my husband's desk. He's so great. He's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for these crystals. He's so great. But anyways, that's it. That's my only other obsession.
That's what's been happening in your life.
That's what's been happening in my life.
I wish I had another update for you. I want to leave this house, basically, is where I want to leave this fucking house. Oh, it's an apartment.
Is that little person behind you a astronaut?
This?
Yeah.
No, that's...
Oh, no, it's the voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
That's a voodoo doll I got from New Orleans. I also will post on our Instagram. I finally got the picture framed that I bought in New Orleans, so be on the lookout for that.
Beautiful.
Very excited. Anyway, okay, so we are, again, talking about Event Horizon from 1997 as our patron pick. Also, again, cheers to 100 episodes. Very excited. The director was Paul W.S. Anderson, and he did the Resident Evil movies. And if you'll remember, in our first movie, we're actually a little late. I should also mention, this was supposed to be the patron pick for June. This will air in July, but it's because I got sick, and we changed our schedule a little bit. So anyway, we kicked off July with Pandorum, and he was a producer on Pandorum. So that's just a little background on him.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for cast, we've got Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Miller, Sam Neill, who plays Weir, Kathleen Quinlan, who plays Peters, Jolie Richardson is Stark, Richard T. Jones plays Cooper, Jack Noseworthy plays Justin, Jason Isaacs plays DJ, Sean Pertwee plays Smith, and Peter Marinker plays Kilpack. I actually wasn't quite sure who that was, so I left it in just in case I couldn't remember an important person. Sometimes with these, like, crews, you know?
Yeah.
I just start losing track of people. I don't know. There's too many people. So budget was $60 million. Box office was $42 million. This did not do well. Really bombed. Yeah. Sad.
Wow. I just remember it being so popular.
Yeah. It definitely became a cult classic, I think, later. I don't know how much later, though.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember when I saw it, because it came out a couple years after I graduated, and I feel like it was just like a big movie. Everyone had seen that movie. But
I also feel like it's been in the zeitgeist forever. I mean, maybe it reached cult status before I was aware of it or something, but I don't know. Also, these ratings kind of shocked me. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 29%.
What?
Yeah.
That's so low. So low.
I was really shocked by that, yeah. 83% of Google users like it, and Letterboxd gave it a 3.3, which also seemed kind of low.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, oh, this is a masterpiece of all movies. I'm just saying, compared to some of the other fucking movies that they give higher, really?
I know. And people talk about this movie a lot. It's like a definite landmark movie, it feels like.
I'm
for
blown
science
away.
fiction horror, for sure. Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Anyway. Any other thoughts before 2 minutes of Tawny?
No. Just blown away by that 20%.
Yeah. 29, but still low.
Oh, yeah, it's literally low. Okay.
Okay, turn back now if you don't want this spoiled for you. Here we go. Dr. Weir joins a space crew aboard the Lewis and Clark that is on its way to a distress signal from the Event Horizon, a ship that vanished beyond Jupiter 7 years ago. The distress signal is basically just horror in audio form, and they think they can make out a Latin phrase, Liberate Me, which means save me. Once the crew reaches the ship, they scan it for life forms, and though they can't pick up anything specific, they are getting a read all over the ship. A few of the crew enter the event horizon, and one of them, Justin, finds the gravity drive, which creates a temporary black hole. The intention of the ship was to fold space-time and use the temporary black hole to travel faster than light, and Dr. Weir built the ship. The drive activates and he gets sucked in. This causes a shockwave that damages the Lewis and Clark, forcing the entire crew onto the event horizon. When they pull Justin out of the drive, he's catatonic, but his vitals are normal. The plan from here is to repair the Lewis and Clark and get back home, but they only have about 20 hours of oxygen to pull it off. One by one, the crew begin to experience horrible hallucinations. DJ realizes the translation of the distress signal was wrong. It's actually Liberate tutame ex inferis, meaning save yourself from hell. They discover the video log of the Event Horizon crew, showing basically a fucked up orgy with people raping and mutilating each other and themselves, including gouging out their own eyes. Understandably, Captain Miller is like, we're getting the fuck out of here, and they hurry to get off the ship, but Weir has lost it and wants to stay and go with the ship back to hell. He blows up the Lewis and Clark, which was literally just repaired and ready to fly home, gouges out his own eyes, and gets jettisoned into space in a fight with Miller. Cooper and Stark make it to the Event Horizon escape pod while Miller goes to blow up the bridge so they can detach. Not the bridge. I should have used a different word. Jade will never let me live that down, by the way, our conversation about the bridge in Pandorum. I should say hallway. It's not the bridge. Yeah, they blow up like the hallway to the gateway so that they can detach it from the rest of the ship. The form of Weir appears and forces Miller into the room with the drive, and he has to sacrifice himself to ensure the remaining crew's survival. Miller and the Event Horizon get sucked back into hell. 72 days later, Cooper, Stark, and Justin eventually get found by a rescue team. One of the rescuers takes off his masks and looks like Weir, but then Stark wakes up revealing that it was a dream and they're safe. Question mark? The end.
Nice. I just want to say, so for Rotten Tomatoes, is it the audience score which makes the Rotten Tomatoes score?
I don't know. Let's look.
Because I just pulled up Otis. And it has a tomatometer, but there's nothing there. But it has the audience score of 57%.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a different dimension myself. If you're going to score Event Horizon at 29 and Otis at 57.
What's the that you said the tomato meter. I like to call it the thermometer. It has 0.
Oh, sorry, tomato meter. Mine's so boring.
It is.
Thermometer is yeah, it is. They're just dashes. It doesn't. I think it says 2 reviews under it, but the audience scores has over 2,500 reviews, and it's 57%.
Yeah, that must be the critics.
What's another movie we didn't like?
Because Event Horizon, the audience score is 61.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that must be the critic.
So it's the thermometer is the one that is the 29%?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But I think so.
Another movie we really did not like. Anyways, I could just let it go and just
we could look later.
I just could let it go. I let it go. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy about Otis, even like because it's like 2% lower than Event Horizon for audience score. Okay, crazy.
Yeah, that
anyway
is crazy. All right.
Okay. How did you feel about? Had you seen this before?
Yes, but I didn't remember a lot of it.
Okay.
I saw it when it came out.
Okay.
And I remembered like really weird things, like that his wife was dead, or but I didn't remember a lot of it. So it was almost like a first watch. There's no nostalgia tied to it because I didn't remember anything.
Okay.
But I can say I liked it. I want to know I started out really liking it. Oh, I'm really enjoying this ride. And then towards the end, I was like, what? Wait. And so I don't know. I'm hoping maybe you'll talk me up a little bit. I
Okay.
think towards the end with all the hell stuff, it started to lose me. But I liked everything up to it. I liked the acting. Lawrence Fishburne was my favorite.
Really?
I felt like, yes.
Okay.
You hated it. I feel like he was making like real decisions. Like
okay, I liked that.
Yeah, I liked his real decisions. One of my favorite parts of the movie, which I just laughed out loud and I loved it, was when they were watching that horrible, disgusting orgy movie, and then it was over, and he's like, "We're leaving." I love that.
Me too.
So I thought overall the acting was good. I liked a lot of the characters. I liked some of the comedy, like the one guy who floats out to space. I mean, it's like so ridiculous that he's still alive, but I liked him and I'm glad he's alive. And it was kind of funny, you know, but it was kind of like, and maybe it's just because I didn't understand where they were going with it, the hell, and they're all in hell now. And like that's where it started to lose me. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. Yeah, we'll see. How about you?
I can talk about. I really fucking enjoyed this movie in a way that I didn't expect to, because I remember watching it for the first time, which wasn't that long ago. I think I watched it for the first time maybe 6-7 years ago. And I remember feeling underwhelmed because people talk about it so much and it is a cult classic. And I was like, people talk about this movie as if it's one of the scariest movies that they've ever seen, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And so I was like stoked for it, right? People kind of overhyped it for me. And then I was just like, I don't know. That was all right, you know? But watching it a second time, I think I really appreciated it on another level. I think especially the like set design and cinematography and stuff, just wow, really liked that. There's also a lot of details that I'll go over in the notes just that they put into the movie that I feel like I really appreciate. And I just love the idea. I mean, it's very Lovecraftian or cosmic type horror. So we can get into that later. This led me down a rabbit hole of Lovecraft because I feel like this is one of the most referenced movies when people talk about Lovecraftian horror, and one of the most of those types of horror movies, specifically sci-fi horror. So, I really fucking liked it. But Lawrence Fishburne, I liked his character a lot. Like, he was very funny and I liked the decisions he made, but his acting was bothering me mainly because he was giving me no eyebrows. Like, he was just being sometimes like his face when like serious shit was happening, there was nothing happening on the face. And that was really bothering me.
Botox.
Everybody's got Botox. Maybe he looked young as hell.
Guys.
Not that I'm saying young people don't or can't do Botox or anything, but is there a reason?
I was joking. Okay. I didn't really think that he had Botox.
I thought you were being serious.
Maybe.
Okay.
No, I wasn't being serious. Can you share with me what is Lovecraftian?
Okay, I'm going to try my best to, and I'm not like reading this, I'm paraphrasing it in my own words. So Lovecraft basically like birthed a genre, like this genre. So that's why his H.P. Lovecraft, that's why it's called Lovecraftian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think he was like doing I think he did this in like the 1890s or something, somewhere in there. I should note here that he was very racist. So boo for that, obviously. But he wrote a lot of fiction, science fiction, that it birthed this genre. So he wrote The Call of Cthulhu. So Cthulhu is based on this story, right? So you see like a lot of Cthulhu things, but it's based on his story. And
I've never even heard of that.
You have never heard of Cthulhu?
No,
Cthulhu is like a new thing for you right now. This is like
brand
a new
new.
concept.
I've never heard of this. Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked right now.
I'm very excited because I've never heard about this.
Okay, have you seen?
You are very excited.
Have you seen? I know. I just can't understand how you would have avoided it. Have you seen that Pirates of the Caribbean where the guy? I think his name is Davy Jones. I think it's Davy Jones, and he's got the octopus face.
Yes.
That's what Cthulhu basically looks like. Is he's described as a anthropoid, I hope that's the right word, like body. In the story, they find a statue of this Cthulhu, and it's like human body, human-ish body, octopus face with feelers coming out of his face.
Okay.
Like hooks or talons or something for his like feet, all of his feet, and long wings. So he's like a demon creature, right? And the point of I'm already not doing a very good job of doing this concisely. But anyway, like all of his stories are based in like the fear of the unknown. He was like one of the first writers because he was an atheist. Everything that came before him was like kind of based in this idea of like Christianity and how there being a God, and it was ultimately like had a positive kind of outlook. He did not, because he was an atheist and he was into the cosmos. So like the discovery of astronomy really like changed the trajectory of, I think, his life and his stories. And overall, he felt like humankind was, tiny in the scope of things, in the grand scope of the universe. I also feel like you would know about this because this is like, you're interested in space and aliens.
Yeah.
And stuff. But the idea is that there are these like really old and ancient, eldritch is another word that people use for this kind of same thing, gods. And so there's like ones out far in outer space, the outer gods, I think is what they're called. And they are like totally indifferent towards Earth and humans, right? Because we're just so teeny tiny to them. And then there are some gods that like live here, like on Earth, that just happen to be here. And they're just so much like bigger and older and scarier than us but they are malevolent. Like they will hurt us. But it's like, it's that fear of the unknown and feeling so small, basically. And so a lot of it is like, again, cosmic horror, because it has to do with space and aliens, basically. Things that are so old and unknowable to us, we can't even wrap our minds around them. So hopefully that was a good
You did
summary.
Great. I mean, I don't know for people who are super into it, but for me, that was a great description.
Cleared it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it. I Googled it on my phone and I see the Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, it is.
And it looks like a Dr. Seuss book.
What?
Yeah.
Show me what you're looking at.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. That must be.
Okay.
Yep. That must be somebody's art that they made.
Maybe that's just it's an Amazon, maybe. Oh, the Call of Cthulhu for beginners.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's like for TT.
Yeah. The thing about H.P. Lovecraft's writing is it's a very, very like flourishy purple prose type shit. I will probably never read it because I'm going to hate it. Like, I just know that about myself. I don't like to read things, as stupid as that's going to make me sound. I don't like to read things that I can't like immediately comprehend what's happening. And if you get too like descriptive and crazy with your fucking words, I don't like it. Okay, I'm here for a straightforward read. And so I will probably never read any of this. But he like, you know the Necronomicon? You know what that is? Dude, you're shocking me. I'm just blown away. Well, you've seen Evil Dead, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So the book
we
in
watched
Evil Dead. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
Is the Necronomicon.
Oh,
and that was something he...
So with dead people, right?
Came up with. That's a thing from Lovecraft.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I didn't know that either until today. Well, I knew what the Necronomicon was. And you did, too. You just didn't remember. But lots of people reference it after that, right? And the same thing with like Cthulhu and this idea of like eldritch gods and horror. And the thing that was like, I guess, in addition to it being different, I didn't expect to go off on this tangent so early in this episode, so sorry if this is...
That's okay. Like in our description, I'm going to say tangents include H.P. Lovecraft, period.
I feel like it's relevant. It's relevant because that's, you can see how that gets pulled into this movie. Anyway, we'll come back to that. But in addition to it being so different, because the outlook was like really pessimistic, like he had a really pessimistic outlook that came through in his stories. Before this, it was all kind of gothic horror, and he was really the first, I think, to, at least so far that I know, pull in sort of this like different feeling or different atmosphere, I guess I should say. Like a lot of the creatures are very weird, or they're fish-like, or like the Cthulhu with the octopus head. And everything is sort of like very slimy and gross and different. And so that felt very different than I think what had been written, especially for sci-fi or horror up until that time. So it took it in like a totally different direction. And now so much is based on that, on the things that he created. So it was really interesting.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot. I still don't know. I started to watch like a documentary. I didn't even get through the whole documentary, but I'll put like resources and stuff in our Discord for this. But yeah, because I read some really interesting stuff. So
nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
thank you for that.
Yes, I'm glad that I could help a little bit. I'm probably not doing the best job of describing it, but that's where we landed in this movie. Is you see that this thing goes into the unknown, and it goes somewhere that is beyond our comprehension as human beings, and returns different, right? The ship is infected. And I think originally when they had created the idea for this movie, they were thinking about doing some sort of alien type creature, but they wanted to take it in a different direction. They were afraid it would be too similar to Alien, and they didn't want to just like basically carbon copy that. So then that's when they took it in the direction of like hell or possession, demons, that type of stuff. So
you could totally change my mind. But my initial thought from what you just said is I would have liked it if there was aliens, but you can totally change my mind. And the only reason is because I was having this discussion with my husband. I become really fascinated with aliens, and after watching Annihilation, and if we the aliens that we see in movies coming down to Earth are almost like predators like tigers in the jungle, right? Like let's think of The Quiet Place. They come, they have this advanced hearing, but they're just like fucking tearing shit up. Ah! Yeah. So how did that level of consciousness, understanding get here? It's like tigers making it out to some other planet. Like I'm saying, like predators. Like if you think of like The Quiet Place, those aliens that came are just like kind of like hibernating. Then they hear something and they come and they fuck everything up and then they go away. Like that's what I'm saying. Like tigers are great, but I'm just saying they're
you lost me for a second, but I think I'm back.
They're like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this make sense. But like predators, to the core predators, right?
Okay.
So how did that level of intelligence come all the way to Earth? So I know I'm not making sense, but I hope. I like this idea of this is how. If there is this way to bend space and to go to another place and bring that type of animalistic predator from another planet to our existence, that's a way to explain that. Does that make sense? It's going to take some fucking wicked smart. We're not even there. We don't even, as humans, have the capacity to get all the way to Neptune or or someplace further. But then in these movies, these aliens that are like rabid dogs. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not like they're like fucking calculating shit and stuff. They're just here tearing shit up. Right. So I kind of like that idea. Hopefully somebody kind of like was like, oh, I get what Felicia's saying.
No, I got what you're saying. Yeah,
okay, good.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm just going to paraphrase here. You like the idea that this is how we got to this point, is like we went there and went through a black hole basically and touched something that was unknowable, we didn't know about until now.
Yes, and brought it back.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that idea. But then it goes into hell, and that's where it lost me.
Yeah, I think the thing that we need to maybe stop, like we can keep calling it hell, but I do think that we should probably, I don't like the idea that it went to literal hell. You know what I mean? And I don't think that maybe was the intention. I think the idea is this ship crossed into another dimension. It touched another dimension that we don't know anything about. And it came back, and it just was basically full of like terrible pain and suffering and the joy, even the joy of that stuff, right? Because those people seem to be enjoying when they're really fucking each other up. And so I think like the idea isn't that like there is a heaven and hell and this ship went to hell. I think it's like it pierced a veil and went somewhere fucking awful and then returned. And I like the idea, this is just, I'm going to tack this on.
Yeah.
I like the idea that there is a distress signal and it basically is luring people out for more victims. Like,
yeah,
I really like that aspect of it. But I don't know, does that help at all?
Yeah, I think I like that aspect too. And I was really thinking a lot that I also love when it just is how it is. Like a lot of times we need in movies where you have a situation and we overcome the situation or the beast or whatever. And in this aspect, it just is how it is, including whatever is on the other side of the black hole exists as a reality now for us. A lot of times I think, like we mentioned that with Annihilation as well. Once this happened and it's all cleared up, how could you ever live a normal life knowing that this is possible? So I love that aspect. I think with the hell, because he kept saying hell, and we can think of it totally not like heaven and hell, but then they had those visions of people living out a torturous situation over and over again, which is kind of like quintessential hell, is that you go to hell and you keep reliving this for all of eternity. And they had that aspect of it, remember, in the memory where the people were being tortured
I didn't think about
from
that,
the ship. I think that's why I was like, oh shit, like, so this is hell. Or I'm confused. So I do like where you're going with it though. And so I want to think about it in a different way because I like it. And then also when the doctor, from Jurassic Park.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Dr. Weir.
Dr. Weir, thank you. TT came in and went, hey, that's the guy from Jurassic Park.
He said, get out of here, TT.
Yeah, exactly. So when Weir like got ejected and then he came back, she won't let me leave. I was like, what is happening? Like, how did he get back? Or did he just did he go through the black hole thing? But no, because when she made a black hole, the ship, it was pretty epic. There was like a huge black hole and that wasn't there when he came back. But maybe you have something.
No, I don't think that he is actually there. I think that's the ship. The ship is like basically infused with this like evil entity, right? That can affect people. So it's causing everybody to have hallucinations. And I think he's another one of those hallucinations. I mean, I know he like fights with him. So it's not that he's like totally not real, but I don't think it is actually Weir. I think it's just like making him the form of Weir.
Oh, okay. This is helping because another thing that I questioned was when Lawrence Fishburne saw the guy that he left behind and let that burned up. Remember his from the last ship. And so this guy comes and he's like, you let me burn. And he blasts fire. And I'm like, okay, the hallucination literally lit stuff on fire. And there was fire. And I'm like, okay, so this is not a hallucination then. And so that I think I started to get lost. Like or is this a piece where that they didn't tie up? Like how is the hallucination lighting things on fire?
Yeah, I think this is one of those things that you maybe just need to be like, sure, this ship can cause hallucinations, and it can also make those hallucinations exist in physical reality, right? Okay. And actually, one of the endings that they shot, that I think they showed to the first test audiences, Weir never comes back. He just has that, he dukes it out with the guy that he left behind. And the test audiences did not like that. So they Frankenstein together. I mean, I think they shot a new ending, but they had another one in mind and they just kind of merged them. So he starts off being the man that he left behind, but becomes Weir. But he's not, he's not actually Weir. I think Weir he's out dead.
He's ejected, yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering why
But it would make sense, actually, sorry, you keep going. Yeah. It would make sense that to that character, Miller, he deeply regrets leaving that guy behind and now has made it a point in his life to never leave anybody behind again. And so he maybe feels that way about Weir also. So I think it tracks that he also becomes that person, you know? I mean, I think I think they did it just because it's like, as a movie watcher, you're watching these two main characters basically throughout the thing and you want to see them come back and whatever. I think that's the shallow reason why they did it, and test audiences liked it. But
because I liked the hallucination aspect and how this entity that has infected the ship, it makes people lose their mind. I loved all of those aspects. Like when the woman, what a graphic death when she followed her son and then fell and she was all broken and bloody.
Yeah.
Or even Weir ripping out his own eyes because his wife, with the hallucination with his wife. I love that. It was just those little things. I was also curious, this is a little thing, but I don't know a lot about ships in space. When Jacob, that was creepy. But when he was going to eject himself out of the ship and he didn't have a spacesuit on, right? Justin, and his like bleeding out of, that was so creepy. And but why, when they blew the window out of the ship in the cockpit or the bridge or whatever it's called, no one was experiencing that?
I think it's because there's pressure in that situation where there was not pressure in the previous situation. So he's in that little chamber that depressurizes. So they pull all the like pressure out of that air so that the outer door can open and it like matches space, right? But when they blow the hole in the window, they are not exposed yet. I mean, I think you're right, and probably we had to, extend our disbelief a little bit
longer than it normally would take.
All of the air and atmosphere in that part of the ship is being let out of the door, maybe. So that's why they're okay for a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that's science by any fucking means, but I'm just saying.
For quite a while they're okay. Okay. That was just something I saw that I was like, wait a second, why isn't this not happening to them? Why are they okay for so long? But
yeah, that's my not super scientific movie reasoning, but it makes sense that he, that area depressurized before the outer door opened and let him out, and that he started having that problem in the chamber before the door even opened. So
okay,
I loved that scene, by the way. I was like, I didn't remember that at all, and I was like, this is legit scary. I think like one of the things that I remember from my first watch, again, I'm coming off of people saying this is one of the scariest movies they've ever seen. I was like underwhelmed, but going in again fresh, I was like, this is a legit scary movie. And I like it for that.
Yeah, that was a really scary scene. I can say a lot of, I was in it. I was like, this is really good. This is really good. And the only notes I have are towards the end. And that's when it started to kind of reveal the story. And I was trying to follow along. I was like, why is he so strong all of a sudden? Like this god from another. Weir is so incredibly strong all of a sudden. And I tried to wrap my mind around it. Like some of those ideas when you, expand your consciousness or use more of your brain, you're able to kind of like defy time and strength and gravity and limitations and all that sort of thing. So I tried to think of it that way, like maybe he just totally believed in himself and so was able to do superhuman things. Like they say, moms can lift their cars off kids and all that.
You're talking about
thing.
Dr. Weir?
Yeah. Towards the end, all my notes are coming in at the end. I was like, why is he so strong? That the fire is real? I thought it was a hallucination. So like all of this stuff, because in the beginning, I was there for it.
I think it's because though that he's like, there's moments where he's like possessed, right? Basically by this entity, because he acts like totally different when he, gouges his own eyes out. It does get like a little muddy. I will definitely admit that. I think towards the end it started to kind of fall apart. And something also that I want to mention is that they did cut a lot. Like the original cut was 130 minutes, so they cut and it was so fucking violent. We'll get into that like later, but it got like an NC-17 the first time they ran it through the MPAA. So, and the studio test audiences, everybody was like, this is fucking crazy. So they ordered him to cut 30 minutes and he was like already really under the gun. Like they did this whole thing, I think in 10 months, which is incredibly short time frame for the whole movie. But he says he now regrets that decision as he didn't have enough time for a proper re-edit. And he believes that he cut 10 minutes too much. So I wonder if there was some stuff that got cut up and out that kind of didn't help with the, like, I don't know, pacing of things. Because one of the things that I don't like also is just the flip-floppingness of Weir, right? One moment he seems like normal, and the next moment he's all, I am home, and disappears into the shadows, which was funny. And you're like, what? And then the next moment he finds what's her name? Peters, after she dies. And he seems all sad. No. Ah, and then he gouges his own eyes out. So that feels like it's him in charge. And then the next time we see him, he's just like totally seemingly possessed. So I think like we do kind of flip flop, and I don't know like what's happening at any moment. But I think that's the idea, is like sometimes he's possessed, sometimes he's not. Just like we saw Justin in the airlock.
Yeah.
When he was like talking to them, and then all of a sudden he seems not possessed. And he's like, get me out of here, get me out of here. You know, like it seems like it can flip on them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I think basically what I'm saying is like, I don't think he has like superhuman strength. I think like it's this entity controlling him, puppeting him.
So tell me a little bit about what these So tell me a little bit about I love this whole idea. I love the black hole idea and what's on the other side. We have no fucking idea. We know to say we know a lot about space is like we don't.
Right.
Like it's so minuscule. Even though we know a lot, it's like tiny, pinprick of information that's out there. So who is being tortured? Like, because it showed them like their physical bodies of the people who had died being tortured in this other, I get the idea of other planes or other, what is the word for it? Not plane. Dimensions existing, right? I totally get that. Different dimensions or different parallel, right? Universes all existing at the same time. So right now, for us, this is what's happening. But in a parallel dimension, there's a Felicia that is something completely different. So I understand that. So maybe, is that what it is? Like they were in this dimension and now they're in this dimension where they're being tortured, or were their bodies transported to this other place? Because I also see with this traveling through this black hole, traveling to another place in time, another dimension, maybe not occurring at the exact same time. So now they're here and they're being tortured, but clearly they were like, their dead bodies are inside of the ship, but maybe not. So I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
I mean, I don't think I have any answers for you. I did not come across anything in relation to that in my research. I think...
Or was it a fear tactic of the ship showing Lawrence Fishburne that, oh, look at all your people, you're leaving them all behind because they're all still here in the ship, they're tortured? Because he did say they're all still alive. Remember he said something like, they're still alive when he was like gonna fight? Is that like... When
I think he's talking about his crew.
Oh, I thought because it happened right after Weir said, look, and held his head. And then you could see all the dead people of his crew being tortured. Right. Which was, oh, God, that was horrifying. And then he said they're still alive.
Well, that was not his crew. That was the first crew, right? Event Horizon.
Oh, no, I thought that was his crew.
Oh,
because
maybe
it showed, I think it was because Justin was one of the people that was in that.
It goes so fast.
Yeah, it was really fast. I'm pretty sure one of them was Justin. I thought the other one was the mom who died.
Okay, then it was probably, him showing him like, but I just assumed he was talking about the ones that are still alive.
Oh, like he was refocusing on the ones that were still alive? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, I was thinking of a different, moment in the movie, but now I'm with you, and I don't know. It could also be that, like, those people, even though they were dead, the people that had died up until that point, aren't dead. They become part of the ship or part of this entity, right? Because, like, when they scan the ship,
darkness and torture.
right? It does read as like a life form, but there's not like an actual body life form.
Yeah, I feel like this is not a bad thing. Like, I just want to know more about this other dimension of chaos
I think the
that they
point,
went
though,
to.
is that I think, and that's the thing that makes it scary, is like we don't know, you know? We don't know, like, literally what's happening in that dimension, and that's what makes it scary.
I like it because I've been so curious too. Like, when you think about any space documentary, when they're talking about black holes and stuff, and things go in there, like, what fucking happens in there?
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like, when they show you, it's just like, it's so fucking curious. I think that's why I just want to understand so bad what they're saying. I know that they're not saying this is actually what's on the other side.
Right, yeah.
But this is an idea, a concept of what might be. And so I really want to understand it.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to say is that there could be unfathomable horror on the other side of this black hole. And it can also be brought back into this reality. And I think that's the core of it, you know, like, without getting too literal about it, like, that's what they're trying to illustrate. And that's why because it does kind of fall apart, and there are, like, you ask questions, what's happening with this, whatever. But I can excuse all that because at the core, I like the idea, you know?
Yeah, I do too. I do like the idea of this.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I don't have anything else to help, like, clear anything up.
This is like a little random side note, but I really liked how our picks for this episode were like polar opposites, deep space or deep sea. And I was here for both of them. I'm actually the other one was underwater, and I'm going to watch it with probably tonight or tomorrow with Steve and my oldest. We're going to watch it.
Oh, you're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I was curious for either, and I don't know when we'll be able, when you'll allow me to watch it on the show. I'm just kidding. I'm so curious, but I like that, how it was polar opposites, deep space and then deep sea, but also very, very similar. The claustrophobia, the beings, the atmosphere.
Yeah,
I just
the
find
unknown.
That curious. Yeah, the unknown.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I think, you know, they relate in a lot of ways. Again, when you get into this like Lovecraftian type horror, you have a mixture of space and under the sea, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're both so unknown to us, so foreign to us.
All right. I like all of that. I did love that moment when Lawrence Fishburne, sorry, because I keep forgetting his name, he touched the ship, like he was holding himself up or pushed himself up, and he touched the ship and saw the memories.
Yeah.
Of that. I love that.
I liked that a lot too.
Yeah, that just like the memory and the energy in a physical object, like a house. Because if you think about it, even like possession type stuff, or when people are talking about going into a space and feeling like the heaviness of the energy and that being within the ship, I really like that.
Yeah, I think the writer actually pitched it as like The Shining in space.
Oh.
It's basically like a haunted house in space movie.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that helps. Maybe looking at it through that lens. I definitely think a lot. I mean, this is basically Hellraiser in space, right? Like,
I thought of Hellraiser too. Actually, totally.
Yeah, and I don't think that's by accident, right? Like, I have a note here. The gateway, you know, to the interlocking circles around the gateway was an homage to the puzzle box in Hellraiser, which was an inspiration. So you can see like the, you know, little weird interlocking thing. But the other thing is, right, like that Hellraiser is also about a parallel dimension of like super fucked up creatures, right? That are like, they prey, or I don't know if I'm doing a bad job explaining this. It's been a long time since I saw the movie, but it's about like pleasure and pain and the suffering, like, and so I think when you also look at it through that lens, it's a little easier to like detach from the like literal, you know what I mean? What is that word? From the literalness?
I like it.
Sure. When you think about it like Hellraiser in space, I feel like it helps you be like, yeah, I see, I get that, you know?
So I've never seen Hellraiser, but I've read the book. I've read 2 books. There's multiple Hellraiser books, right? I know I read, I believe there is. I dated a guy in high school for a very short time, and he was super into Hellraiser. And I read a couple of the books. I couldn't really get into it. It was so disturbing. I broke up with him. It was just you like this? This is fucking disgusting. But I think it was Weir immediately reminded me of Pinhead is the guy's name, right? The main Hellraiser dude?
Yeah.
With the pins coming out of his... Yeah. His look when he was all cut up and stuff like that. I immediately thought of Pinhead.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did not make that connection, but yeah. That's one of the things that I really like about this movie, is that it has its own like flavor, because it is this like Lovecraftian cosmic horror, sci-fi horror. It's so like in a genre of its own. Like, I feel like I can't think of anything else that's closely related to this, and this is why I like that it's not an alien.
Yeah.
Quote,
I like it's not an alien now too.
Yeah, because if it has its own like feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just an alien. Because I always had issues. I just think with that one piece, because I always had issues with aliens being so animalistic, because you have to have the intelligence to come all. Okay, so not that we have intelligence here as humans and we're fucking shit up, but we don't have the intelligence to go so far as what happens in these movies. And so that always bothered me.
I totally see what you're saying. Now that we're going back to the tigers.
Okay, yes, tigers.
You just connected those dots for me. Yeah, because they seem like they're not intelligent in the way that they could like chart a course here to this.
You're not going to stumble on a tiger in the fucking jungle like trying to put together a rocket.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's like too close. Yeah, I got it.
I'm so glad you get it. I'm so glad.
It took me like 50 minutes, but we can...
My ridiculousness. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one reason where I was like, oh, this makes sense. We're bringing these things from different dimensions, from different parts of space, because we can totally transcend time and space travel because we're going through the black hole. But it wasn't that. But maybe that's scary. Maybe what's beyond is way scarier than any physical thing that, we could shoot or we can infect with a disease.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, when we talk about this movie and we talk about hell and hellscape and whatever, like, I think that's why I prefer to step away from that, because hell is the closest thing that we have a word or a concept of understanding that we can attach to it. So even the people in the movie say, save yourself from hell, this is hell, whatever. They say that a couple times, but it's the closest thing to they know that they can connect to this. So that's why I think it's like not literal hell. It's unknowable. It's beyond our understanding and comprehension. It's something that we had no idea even existed out somewhere in the universe, cosmos, dimensions, whatever. And that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, just stop going out there.
Come back.
Let's just be happy here. Take care of our earth and stop going out there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also related to this, so in one script version, Weir, while under the ship's influence, says that the true nature of the black hole is that it is absolute and eternal nothing, and that if God is everything, then I have seen the devil. I'm going to say that again because I had to reread it like 3 times.
Read it again.
I thought it was real good. If God is everything, then I have seen the devil. In the climax, the dark power takes the form of Weir, claiming that it is not the devil, being much, much older, and that I watched the beginning and I will see the end. I am the dark behind the stars. I am the dark inside you all. That gave me chills reading it.
Yeah. Almost like everything, the cosmos, everything that exists right now is God. Everything within the black hole that we don't understand and that is outside of the cosmos and our existence is the devil, is hell.
Or is nothing. But again, like
nothing. But yeah, if God is everything, and
then I am nothing.
Oh,
or nothing.
God,
knowable.
I love that. And I'm using devil and God loosely, not in like the Christian sense of devil and God, but like this is God and the devil. It's everything and nothing within those black holes. And we're all trying to fucking get in those black holes. Yeah, I've seen so many documentaries where we're like, oh, we want to, map the black hole or send something into the black hole. What's in the black hole? Stay out of the fucking black holes. Maybe. Just be happy here.
Felicia's fully sold on not fucking around with black holes. We're done.
We're done with the black holes because of that comment. Makes sense.
Let's
enjoy all of this. There's so much. Like, there's so many solar systems. There's so much. Let's just enjoy it. Let's stay away from the black holes.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of curious what's in those black holes.
Of course. You can't not be.
No,
let's not lie here. Everybody
wants
to know. We want to know. I also have a note here. So the visions from hell, quote unquote, and the ship's log were inspired by works from 16th century Renaissance painters Hieronymus Bosch and Peter Bruegel. Anderson was fascinated by these paintings as the makers clearly believed in the reality of hell as the complete antithesis of heaven, and the images they created were terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Anderson said that these scenes were filmed at the end of the production with a smaller unit, so studio executives probably never bothered to screen them beforehand, thinking that they were just insert shots. He stated when the executives saw a screening of the rough edit, so that's, when they went to look at it, it says they were shocked and some even fainted.
Oh my God. Okay, these people need to not be in the movie business. They were intense, but this fainting situation that's happening.
I mean, let me tell you more about it. I think you might, you might understand. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said before, right, he edited a bunch of it out. So it's at this moment that I just want to note that they don't know where any of this footage is. Like, they don't have it. Yeah,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, and this was before DVDs, right? So there wasn't like the push to maintain that, like any extra footage or shoot like behind the scenes footage or anything. So the DVD that you can buy now, I think, it has a couple deleted scenes, but there was like a lot more, and it was shot on film. So the film, I believe, got sent to a salt mine in Transylvania. I tried my fucking hardest to like do this research to figure out, because I was so confused at first, because I kept reading, it was found, some of the footage was found, the missing footage was found in a salt mine in Transylvania. So I was like, what the fuck? Why? I was like, this sounds like a totally made up thing. And I just like went down and tried to find like what happened to this footage. Apparently, films can be and sometimes are stored in salt mines because like it's a better atmosphere for film. And like I think the risk of like flooding is low and stuff like that. But why Transylvania? I have no fucking idea, and I could not find anything more about it. But
I am learning so fucking much on this episode. I was not planning on this.
That's the same for me. In doing the research, I was like, okay, wow. There was a lot to research and a lot that I was curious about. So I'm glad that you're feeling the same way I felt.
Yes.
But I guess so they found that footage, but it was too degraded. Like it had gotten damaged or degraded to the point where they couldn't use it. And I guess that separate from that, in 2012, the producer, Lloyd Levin, found a VHS tape that might contain a full version of the film. He revealed in 2017 that neither he nor, Anderson revealed in 2017 that neither he nor Levin had seen it yet, although he believes that the condition of the copy will also be too poor to use. So they might have it, they haven't looked at it. Fucking why? Everywhere, again, some of this stuff that you find, I think, for movie, like, trivia, I don't know about you, Felicia, but I read it and I go, like, that sounds fucking made up. Where's your source on this, right? So I tried to dig down into the source on the Transylvania salt mine, couldn't find anything. This one, everywhere that people talk about this, they're just like, yeah, we haven't watched it because, the producer moved to Spain. Like, I don't know why that would, like, prohibit anybody from watching this VHS.
Yeah, like, I'm sure you could have VHS machines in Spain.
Just fly over there. I think they don't want to watch it without each other. Oh, he
moved there? Oh, yeah. This seems like so epic that you would and fly to Spain to watch it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And then why wouldn't they do something with it? Let's release it now. Let's make it available to, not like in the movie theaters, but anyone who loves this, here's the full version, and just sell it direct to, I don't even know. They don't do DVDs much anymore, but like whatever. I don't know, Netflix or somebody.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess they think that, it must not be a high priority for them. Because, I feel like I'd be making that work. I'd be like,
yeah,
I'll get a VHS player, also known as a VCR. And I'll,
yeah, right.
and I'll fly to you in Spain, and we're going to take a look at this. Like, why wouldn't you just, Paul W.S. Anderson, he's got the money, I'm sure. Okay.
Why doesn't he want to, even
that Resident Evil money.
I don't really want to watch this. I don't know who he is or that's a horrible, but whatever, horrible accent here, and send it over to somebody else.
Why wouldn't you just watch it yourself?
I don't know how to do it, but I'll find this is huge. Let's reproduce this. Let's sell it for people that are because it's a cult classic.
I know. And people have been asking for these deleted scenes.
People are into this.
For 100 million years. People want it. The people want it. And they won't even watch the fucking VHS, it seems like. Why?
Maybe they're so scared that if they put it in the machine that something will happen to it. And so they
I'd buy that.
Worried about it.
Or even, yeah, I'd buy that. Or even I think I also would be afraid to ruin what if you watch it and it's totally fucked up already? That'd be sad. I get delaying that. It's also damaged to the point of no repair. I'd rather just keep that a mystery. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's all there. You watch, it's all messed up and you're like, oh shit, I guess we don't have it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting.
So, continuing down that line of thinking, some of the lost footage includes a great deal more of the Bosch-influenced hell sequences and of the orgiastic video log that was found in the Event Horizon. These were shot by both director and Paul W.S. Anderson and Vadim Jean, who I think is a producer, mainly on weekends. The video log took a month of preparation and about a week to film. And according to them, real-life amputees and porn stars were dressed in extensive makeup to make the sequence as grotesque as possible, figuring that if you're gonna go to hell, you've really got to do it. You can't tap dance. So the infamous Bloody Orgy video was much, much longer, and I will now describe to you scenes that were cut.
Can I just say I didn't even realize it was an orgy?
Yeah,
because things were happening so fast. I saw a lot of blood and stuff like that. I thought they were eating each other. I thought it was cannibals.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize there was sex involved until you mentioned it.
Yeah, I didn't either the first time I watched it, and it wasn't until I think I was reading about this movie.
Why does everybody make sex and sexuality and sensuality evil? If you think about it, whenever a demon or devil comes, they're all dressed sexy and they're lustful. It's bullshit. It's religious. You don't need to answer that. I know why. tell us what was deleted.
Okay. Parts of these things that were deleted are still in the scene. Like one of the crew members sticking his fingers deep into one another's eyes, and a female crew member sodomizing a male crew member with an iron pipe were even more violent in the original version of that scene. I also didn't see this. It goes too fast. I did not see that.
Yeah, I did not see that.
Yeah, you can't understand it. Anyway,
oh my God.
Hold on, there's more. So that's stuff that you can kind of, I guess, still see. There were also a lot more extended shots of the Event Horizon crew naked and covered in blood, having violent sex and raping and eating each other. A more graphic version of the scene where a crewman pulls his own intestines out of his mouth. One crew member is held and stabbed in the back of the head with a spike, and part of his mouth and teeth pop out. Another crew member is crawling on the floor while others are hitting his legs with steel bars, smashing them to pieces as he screams, and is crawling away, leaving bloody pieces of his leg behind. One woman has screws drilled into her teeth. Another woman is restrained while one of her arms is broken and torn off with a hunk of metal. One more woman has her breasts mauled and then ripped off and eaten by another crewman who is raping her. So there's all that.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, no one. I mean, you're like, what? These producers, get over it. But I would also be like, as a person who watches fucking horror movies all the time, that's absurd levels of fucking insane gore, right?
I shouldn't have said anything until I heard what was removed, because I think I would agree. That is insane.
Crazy
fucking town. Crazy town. Disgusting. Wow.
Yeah. Demented. They went level all the way.
All the way.
They were in it
like
to win
Hellraiser.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying earlier about the, like, you know, Hellraiser does have this very sexual, you know, like, part to it, right? And so that's very also present here, I guess, even though I didn't pick up on it the first time either. Yeah, crazy town. I do wish that some of this, I don't know that I wanted to see all of this necessarily, but I love this, like, insane gore factor of this movie. And I think, again, it's because it gives it, like, a different feel than other sci-fi space horror movies. And so, I wish there had just been a little bit more so that I could understand what I was watching. Because I've watched this now, you know, twice, but I've gone back and tried to, like, rewind and watch the scenes to, like, really, because they go so fast that you have no idea what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And so that's a little frustrating. I wish that they would have just edited a little less out so that you can get what you're seeing. You know?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
I do also have a note here on another deleted scene, not in the log part, but there were a lot of deleted scenes, but this is the only other one that I thought was of note, and it's where a possessed Weir is chasing Stark down a ladder, and he goes down the ladder upside down, which was omitted from the movie, but also was an homage to The Exorcist.
Ooh,
how scary would that have been?
I would have liked to see that.
I know.
Him to be more of a demented beast than just, you know, what he was. I would have loved that.
Yeah, super scary. I imagined it, and I was like, I would like to see that. You
Ooh,
know?
Yeah. I like that.
Something that I really liked, and I made a note of, is in the very beginning of the movie, when they did that shot of him in the space station out of the window, and it's like the spinning shot pulling out from that thing. Loved that. It made me feel super disoriented. And I guess it took 10 weeks to achieve and took nearly a third of the visual effects budget.
Oh, wow.
That one shot. But it is 45 seconds. It's a very long shot. So
I did like the special effects. Obviously, I know nowadays it could have been a little more realistic, right, with the technology we have, but I like what they did. I loved, like, the floating liquid, and when he was, like, wiping it off things, and I thought they did a really good job. I liked it a lot.
I liked that too. I thought that was really well done. Yeah, I forgot about the liquid, but I did think, man, that looks cool.
Yeah, and then when once they had, like, gravity inside of the whatever inside of the ship, once there was gravity in the ship, how it all turned to liquid and everyone fell and stuff. Yes. And then that body shattered.
Oh yeah, that was
dead
cool.
Body shattered. Yeah, I really liked all that.
Yeah, it was really neat. I do have a note that's going to link another one of the movies that we watched this month, well, in June, because when I'm always, like, trying to fucking wing how I start saying some of this trivia, and then I fuck it up and I just decide to read it verbatim. So feel free to cut all that out.
All the time.
Although the film met with mostly negative reviews and a disappointing box office result at the time of its release, it amassed a cult following over the years, as we know. The director said that the cult status was predicted to him years before by Kurt Russell, who was in The Thing.
Yeah.
That was also a cult classic that was totally panned when it came out. And he said, forget about what this movie's doing now. In 15 years' time, this is going to be the movie you're glad you made.
Very cool. Good job, Kurt.
Yeah, thought that was really neat. And a nice little tie-in. The last stuff that I have for just trivia notes is like I have a handful of what I thought were really cool details that they included in the movie. So I already talked about the puzzle box, like the Hellraiser puzzle box inspiration for the interlocking circles. Also on those circles, you saw that there were lights, right?
Yeah.
That flashed. Those were supposed to flash at the same time, on the same like cadence as a heartbeat, foreshadowing that the ship is alive.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's pretty cool.
And the central corridor is in the shape of the eye, right?
Yeah.
To symbolize that the ship is always watching. It is always keeping watch of its victims.
Oh, I didn't catch that either.
I didn't, but I also thought while I was watching it, I was like, that's obviously the shape of an eye. I wonder if it's because of the, you know, people gouging out their eyes and you don't need eyes to see where we're going. It's like the eye, the ship is the eye. That's kind of what I thought, but I guess also,
I love the idea of, on a positive note, we don't need eyes where we're going. If it was a positive place of higher consciousness and we don't need eyes. When he said we don't need eyes where we're going, I immediately thought of that of like a higher consciousness, but then was pulled right back like, this is not a higher consciousness though.
No.
But yeah.
This is a lower consciousness. More terrifying. The ship was modeled on Notre Dame Cathedral. Its long corridor resembles a church nave, and its interior is filled with cruciform shapes, columns, and vaults. Also, its engines resemble rotated church towers. Sure. I thought that was like, I never would have realized that myself, but okay.
Notre Dame.
I like the tie-in of, you know, again, heaven
That's
and
my
hell
favorite
kind of.
college football team. I didn't
Nice.
I didn't think of it when I was watching the movie.
No. But, you know,
No, I do like it. Oh, the religious aspect tied into it. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to that, the rotating corridor is supposed to represent the 9 circles of hell from Dante's Inferno. It leads to into the very center of hell, represented by the gravity drive itself.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
There's a lot of hell references then, like legit hell.
Yeah, I was going to say it earlier when you were like having a problem with it, and then I figured I would save that until we got you over it, and then I'd bring it back.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect. All I saw was penis, penis, penis. When the Lewis and Clark was connecting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was like sex.
Yeah.
Happening here. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But then not throughout the rest of it, I didn't. But
right.
Well, I mean the orgy part, but I didn't see that as an orgy.
No, yeah, you did
but
not.
Definitely that with the law.
Yeah.
And then it attacked. But then he's like, we're in the umbilicus. And I was like, oh, like an umbilical cord. Okay. That's not what I saw.
You're like, pretty phallic to me.
Because they couldn't say we're in the urethra or like whatever they would say. Okay, I'm over it. What's next? Okay.
Just back to that rotating corridor, a production note. I guess it turned out to be the most problematic set piece to film, so only shots with a fixed camera could be used since the camera operators became disoriented and unable to keep the camera steady, and even Lawrence Fishburne couldn't perform his run through the tunnel in one take because it was so disorienting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. And there's so many set pieces in here that are really great. Like that, the rotating corridor, the eye-shaped hallway is great. It's huge. The actual room that houses the gravity drive, I was just waiting for somebody to get impaled on one of those spikes. You know, It never happened, but I was like ready for it from the beginning. And even the corridor where he sees his wife, right? It's all green and like, there's just so many moments in this movie that look amazing.
I loved that green corridor with everything was like I don't know what like a dashboard or
like a circuit.
Everything was a circuit. Yeah. And I also found myself staring at the part where the heart was, all the little balls and all the spears and everything that made it up or made, you know what I'm saying? I was staring at it thinking, oh, I wonder why. Like that. I wonder why it looks like this. Maybe that has something to do with the science behind it. I don't know. It was super fascinating. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really intricate. That room is especially.
Yeah, and even being in water and water. I think that fascinated me because of Stranger Things. I'm on season 1, and so remember when she was in water.
Oh yeah,
she could see more.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. I guess too, like that was like, again, this movie was made really fast, and they got somebody to do the set design that was like unknown. Like anybody who knew, like anybody worth their salt, turned it down because they needed more time to pull it off. So they got somebody in there. I didn't write down his name, so I can post that maybe somewhere. But it was he did it like as a first job. It's like it's like amazingly well done, the set design.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Other just last couple of notes. The watch in the spinning tunnel at the start of the film is an Omega Speedmaster, which is the same watch worn by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on their moon mission.
Oh, I like that.
I think that was it. That was actually my last one.
This movie is tying so much together for me.
Yeah, that's what I ended up liking about it, especially this watch and doing the research. There were so many, like, interweaving things, you know, like space travel, Lovecraftian horror, Hellraiser, you know what I mean? Like
Stranger Things,
the church, right? Like,
well, those exploded in the bridge, right, where there was all the exploded. I think they're exploded humans, maybe. But when they first went in there with all the red and blood, I thought, oh, that's like the plant in Stranger Things. Like that's what I immediately thought. But then when I saw everything that's happening, it's like, oh, maybe those are exploded people. But I thought of that.
Yeah, it's really. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that kind of runs through this movie. You know?
Yeah.
Whether it's themes or inspiration, or Okay, are we ready to rate this bad boy?
I'm ready.
Okay, do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I think I'm going to give this a 4.25.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I think I liked this more than Pandorum, but maybe a little bit less than The Thing, because I gave Pandorum a 4 and The Thing a 4.5, and I think I'm just going to put it smack dab in the middle there.
Nice.
I haven't quite looked at all my 4s. I'm a little afraid to stack it up against the rest of those, but you know what? I feel comfortable about it for right now. Really enjoyed this movie second watch, much more than I did the first time. And I think the research and stuff helped me. I really fucking like it. Hellraiser in space, I'm fucking here for it. 4.25 from me. And you seem so shocked. I feel like your score is going to be much lower.
No. My score is a 4.
Oh, shit.
So when I was watching it in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is a 4 for me. Like I had it in my mind. This is a 4. This is a 4. Then we started to get to the end where I was like, oh, maybe it's a 3 point something. But I had that in the back of my mind. I want to ask my questions. I want to see what Tawny brings to the table. So you talked me all the way back up. I think I was thinking more around a 3.25 or something as I was watching the ending and not getting it. I'm all the way back up to what I thought it was, a 4.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And you know what? I was thinking about our scores in general, how I'm always like, oh, I can't believe I scored at that. Now that I watched that, that was that point in time. That's how I felt about that movie.
That's true.
It might be very curious years down the road. Maybe we visit some of our lower scoring ones and rewatch them and see what we feel, or even our higher scoring ones.
Totally. Yeah. Because it could change.
Yeah.
I have some movies too. I have one in particular in my mind that I want to watch at some point that I drastically changed my mind on. Not that we've watched yet, but just that I had watched once and then watched a second time somewhat recently and really, really changed my mind on. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It's just that point in time. So
yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for all that boss ass fucking research you brought. I had no idea. I was coming to this episode just to talk about, I had some questions about it, but that was very, very cool.
Yeah, there was a lot more than I expected. And it was an enjoyable movie to read about. Sometimes I feel like there's not a lot, especially more recent movies, but it was a fun one to learn about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for choosing a cool movie for us to watch for our 100th episode. It would have sucked if it was shitty.
Yeah, totally. I do feel like it's a really good 100th episode like movie. Oh, you're right. That would have sucked. Like,
so this is the last episode for Two Chicks. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, that was super, super fun. Our next episode, it will be Starry Eyes, and we are going to have Michael from We Love Horror podcast on for that. So yes. I've never even heard of this movie until he brought it up.
I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember if I've seen it or not. I've seen a movie that I'm thinking it might be, but I could be mixing it up. So might be a new watch for me as well.
And I'm trying to be like you, and I look it up just to like see some pictures, but I try not to watch any trailers or anything like that. Especially after the episode I did with A Podcast in Elm Street on Jurassic World Dominion. The one part that I loved the most, which I won't bring it up, that Mark and I loved the most, Brooke actually, he saw it in the trailer. So it wasn't as impactful. And I've totally had that experience where I've seen things in the trailer. And so once I see it, it's not as impactful. So I'm trying really hard not to watch trailers and just be kind of taken for the ride.
Yeah, I think that makes it for a better experience. Also, like, I think even images sometimes will fuck it up, like ruin something. When, like, I was telling Paige about Caveat, and she looked up images. Nobody do that, okay? If you're listening right now and you haven't seen Caveat, do not Google it. Don't just fucking watch it. Go in blind. Don't do anything, because it ruined the best part of that movie, in my opinion. Again, I'm gonna
Google it because I've seen it.
Yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed.
I'm allowed.
But yeah, excited for that next week. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe I was going to say something else, but no.
Yeah, I was excited for it. It looked like you were about to say something.
I got nothing.
That's what we got next week. And hey, we love you. You want to follow us, you can go to @2chicksandahorrorflick on Instagram and pretty much everywhere. You could also go to twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Both of those spots will lead you out to anywhere else, whether it's episodes on your favorite podcatcher, if you want to buy some merch, if you want to join our very awesome horror Discord community, or any other social media that you prefer, you can find it there. And what else?
Last note, because that does tie in for our Discord community.
Yeah,
I will have lots of resources and stuff to post on this episode. And one of the things, I mentioned the paintings of Bosch, and I think Bruegel is the other person's last name. Bosch, I think I've talked about this on an episode before. There's only a couple of like old paintings that I'm weirdly obsessed with, and the Garden of Earthly Delights by Bosch is one of them. And so I'm going to post that or a link to it so that you can look at it, because it's like a 3-panel painting, and it's supposed to be heaven, the earth, and hell. And it's really, really detailed. It's amazing. I'll post it in there. You looking at it right now?
Yes, I am. I'm fucking all about this.
I love things like this because it's so detailed, and you can zoom like way the fuck in and look at like all this tiny stuff, like these tiny details. It's amazing. It like would entertain me for fucking hours just looking at it. I got to see one of his paintings, I think also in Denver. There was like an art museum, and we went over there as like a field trip, art school, and I just remember standing there in front of it for so fucking long. Love it. Okay, so I'll post all that in the Discord. So join us over there. And
you just got me started. I'm sorry. Now this is what I'm going to do the rest of the afternoon.
She's in it. Anyway, if you want to support the show, you can go to our Patreon and give us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. But that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you next week. We hope you have such a good night with no nightmares.